Call this meeting of the Clinton City Council to order. Gina, will you take, well, excuse me.
Answer to many things.
I didn't even look over there. Take roll, please.
Councilmember Queener.
Here.
Councilmember Foster. Councilmember Harrell.
Here.
Councilmember Gann.
Here.
Councilmember Hackmaker. Councilmember Manis.
Here.
You see the agenda. Any corrections or additions to the agenda? Seeing none, let's open with prayer. Councilman Manis, and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father God, we just come to you right now, and we thank you for allowing us to live in this free country. And we ask that tonight you put your hand on us and give us wisdom and give us compassion as we go throughout this meeting to make the best decisions we can for our city. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Larry, you need a motion on the agenda.
Okay, we do have one here.
I'll make the motion on the agenda.
I understand we needed a motion on the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Queener, second by Councilman Manis. Review and approval of the minutes. You had them mailed to you. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? Do I hear a motion for those approval?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Manis, second by Councilman Harrell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Recognition of visitors and citizens. I think Josh Reed's here, among others. If you, Josh, if you'll come and give us your name and address.
Absolutely. Josh Reed. I guess I'm representing Clinton High School on this one, so I would use that as, 425 Dragon Drive. What I'm proposing to do in the concept is add a field house, locker room field house at the football stadium. The reason for that is mainly an issue of safety. I know that for years and years, both the visiting and home team would use that locker room under there, but in the world of social media and what we're working with now, it's dangerous having 100 kids trying to pour through that for just various reasons. If something were to happen, weather-wise or whatever, it's hard to get that many in there safely and quickly. Then you take animosity and all the testosterone and fervor of a Friday night, and it's hard to control. It's very, very hard to control. So my main reason for this is to provide an alternative location for our team, and also this would be through the youth league. The middle school would use it as well as the high school. So I want it to be a top to bottom for all Clinton football, and not just football, but that's the main purpose right now. This would be a phased project. My goal initially is to have it roughed in, have the plumbing stubbed up, and have the shell of the building ready to use as a place just for our teams to come out of next season. And then we finish with the inside work in phases 2 and 3 after that. So my ultimate goal is to have them a facility to come out of next year by next football season, and then we work together. I've got some very generous folks that are willing to contribute their time to help me dress that up on the inside and make it look really nice.
And Roger, I understand because this is city involved, they have to have our approval.
Correct. Under the current contract, that any renovation, minor or major, has to have city approval. Most of the minor things, we just approve as staff, but since this is a pretty large project, and I think price tag of, $500,000-600,000.
Could be, yes.
That felt like it probably need to come before council.
And it
per the
still will go through
contract.
planning and BZA and the other?
Yes, it'll have to go through their planning, all of that.
Okay. Any comments, suggestions, questions?
Josh, the old field house, does it get remodeled any at all for I guess it'd be the visitors' field house at that point, or?
That would become, the visitors would remain on the left side, and then I would utilize the right side when we're not in football season then soccer would have their own private locker room. Girls flag football would have their own private locker room. That at that point, we could go in and remodel, dress it up a little bit. We don't really use the showers anymore. So that is one area that we've looked at, as to dress that up as well. But officials would also go in there on a Friday night. That alleviates the mingling in the crowd for them as well. It's a whole lot easier for me to get them in and out of there. And I'm very gracious as always that, you know, we've been able to use the center, but that's a long walk. And people are demonstrating more and more crazy by the day. So if I can protect those officials, I know that they appreciate that. If I can just get them in and out that right side during football games, they greatly appreciated it this year.
One other question I've had people occasionally ask about the original home concrete stands. Now they're the visitors. Any plans to update that at any point in the future, near future?
Would love to. I've combed through being new. This is just my second year, so I've looked at some of the different documents of the lease and then also part of the agreement that I still figure out every day with Mr. Hollingsworth and the complex and all that entailed. But yes, that is 100% on our radar. That's just a major undertaking that we're not quite ready to dive into yet. Yeah, but yes, that would be amazing.
And where is the funding coming from for this? Is the school helping with that, or?
This would be, Dr. Parrott is going to help us get off the ground with surveying and engineering. Outside of that, it is going to 100% be donor. I, along with Mr. Harrell, a gentleman named Tim Hudson with Clinch River Construction, he's helping us. We've got a few places that we're looking to go to and help us put this together.
And so if we were to approve this, would the initial phase begin before the funding is before you have the funding?
Yes, we have not secured. I've kind of put a pin in everything right now until we go through the right stages and the right processes. Meeting with, Mr. Houck has helped me with that considerably about how to do this the right way, and not just everybody turns around and you see some construction going on down at the field and we have to put a pause on it. So the phase one would begin. I do not have any funding secured for the construction of it yet.
Okay.
But I do have a plan for that once we get to that point.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm understanding. So the initial phase would not begin until that is secured?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And it would still have to go through committee before that too, wouldn't it, for planning commission?
Yes,
Matt would have to-
Approved plans.
Any other questions or comments?
Do we know how much the fields are used for high school versus Optimus, like for Parks and Rec use?
Josh, you may be able to answer that better. I know I don't know how many nights Youth League used it this past season.
If I would say that the youth league used it at least 7-8 weekends for football. I do have a lot of youth leagues that use it for soccer as well. I know that it's probably not as, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not the official youth soccer league of Clinton, but it's the majority of our kids in this area that are using it at least every other weekend, sometimes for 8 hours on the weekends. So I would say it's probably a 70-30. High school, probably Clinton High School athletics more. It's probably 70-30 on a percentage basis, yes.
Any other and also, I can say, I'm sure girls' flag football will be.
That's going to up it, yes. That's probably going to drastically change that percentage, since this will be our first year as a recognized TSSAA flag football team. So very excited about that.
A lot of use.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments? Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Harrell, second by Councilman Manus. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Any other, Roberta? Name and address, please, so we.
Roberta Katina. We have the shop at 350 Market. Just wanted to invite all of you down for the next 3 weeks. This weekend is Shop Small Saturday. And then next weekend is the Christmas parade. And then the 13th, the Merchants Association is sponsoring a holiday market that has been scaled back because of the construction. But our cookie crawl will be from 1 to 4. And we'll have Santa, we'll have the Grinch, we'll have Ariel, food trucks, we've got a cupcake truck. So y'all come down and enjoy that day, and all the shops will be handing out cookies from 1 to 4. The market goes from 10 to 5. So Roger's been put on notice about all this coming up. So we expect to see all of you there. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Shayla?
Shayla Wilson, ASAP of Anderson, 131 South Charles G. Severs. Last month, the mayor had asked for us to do a little bit more work in things that were coming up, and Wendy and I have been working on that in our office. So wanted to give you all the information that we've been working on. The city does have the authority through zoning to limit density of specialty shops. That does include vape stores. So this is through TCA 573208. And so that could put the vape stores with the laws that are about to go into action, allow you all to set up a board like you do with Beer Board, and then have a matrix of fines and actually have some zoning and density for those vape shops within Clinton. I think we're up to 10 or 11 now, and so we could limit that based on a population.
So Roger, I would like to make a motion that we send this back to staff to create an ordinance to provide us the opportunity to create this density ordinance, because after looking into it and talking to MTAS, and I have counted the vape stores down Charles Severs, there's 6 within a mile, and that's a lot. But I would love to send this back to staff to create this ordinance, because we have heard a lot from the people of Clinton that they would like to see less vape stores here, so I make that motion.
What classifies a vape store? Because I know like gas stations, like Get and Go.
Gas stations are not, this is strictly the ones that sell THC, the vape,
They're standalone vape shops or specialty shops that's like primarily what they're servicing or what they're selling. I think based on the state law, it's a percentage of their floor space that is retail for that specific item.
Yeah, in January, they will all have to have a license. There have been 5 cities so far to create this density ordinance, and they have based it on population. So Lebanon, for example, has 2 per 10,000. So it wouldn't close any stores, but as they start to go out of business, it would keep them from coming in and allow us to have a little bit more power.
I'll second the motion. Roger, what committee would be constructing that?
We can actually get MTAS to help create the ordinance, but it would have to go to planning commission first, because it is a zoning issue. So they would have to take it up first, probably would try to get it on their January meeting, and then they can send it to council from there.
We have a motion by Councilman DeManus and a second by Councilman Queener. Any other questions or discussion?
One on you mentioned THC, and I get confused on that, the different deltas. Can you give us just a brief, well,
That's hard.
yeah, because it's very confusing what is considered,
Can I get you a one-pager?
that'd be perfect.
Okay, I'll do that and get it back to you. That would take less of everybody's time. I just want to give you all the information, but it's a lot to kind of dive into because there are so many different strains. And it's a very scientific process of how they pull that out to make it different between the THC and the cannabis and the hemp and all the different parts. So I want to make sure you have all the accurate information, but I will get you guys a one-pager.
But if it
that
has
will explain
THC
all
in
of
it,
that.
you can get high, right?
Correct.
Okay,
And it is addictive. There's your short answer.
okay. There's just different variations of that, correct?
There are, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Let's take a roll call vote on that, please.
Councilmember Queener?
Yes.
Councilmember Foster?
Yes.
Councilmember Harrell?
Yes.
Councilmember Gann?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatmaker?
Yes.
Councilmember Manus?
Yes.
Motion to pass this on to planning zoning is approved for consideration. I think we've got another one.
My name is Don Hedden. I live at 519 Greenwood Drive in Clinton. And first of all, I'd like to mention, I've spoken with Mr. Hout the other day, that I'd like to tell you my appreciation for all the new pickleball courts at Lakefront Park. I play pickleball, and I have a lot of friends that do, and the fact that we have 12 pickleball courts probably exceeds any town of this size in the state. I don't know. But anyway, that's just a wonderful thing y'all have done.
And
That
JB,
is-
where's JB?
Yeah.
That's why he came tonight.
But that's not the reason I came tonight. I have some photographs I'd like to pass out, if I may. Can I go around, or y'all want to? I just have 5 more seconds.
We can share.
We can share.
We can share.
How are
It's
you?
the same ones that he sent same house he sent last
I
time.
think so. I think this is Mr. Webb.
I'm good. How are
So
you?
what you're looking at there is on my street, that's 513A Greenwood Drive. They've they're building a new house on a bare lot. And to me, I drove by the other day, I knew they'd been, had been constructing it, they poured the footer, but when the block started coming up, as I drove by, it looked awfully close to the street. So I went over there the other day and measured it. I don't know where the property line is, but I measured from the foundation to the curb at the street, and it's like 36 feet, 36 and a half feet. They have a 4-foot porch extension out, so that makes it 32 and a half feet from the front of that structure to the street. So I think the minimum setback is 30 in there, so I don't know how they're going to obtain that with that structure. So I don't know did these people get a variance to move it closer to the road? The reason I took those pictures, you can see how it lines up with the house right next to it. It's way out, much farther forward towards the street than that structure right next to it.
Matt, has that been reviewed, or?
Well, it's been reviewed, permit's been issued. I have not done any inspections on that property yet. It's possible that during my vacation, maybe, John or Jason may have, but I would have to look at the record and get back to you. I don't have any knowledge of the progress of that particular site.
Is this the site that we've had trouble with behind it?
Yeah.
Same-
It's right next to it.
Right next to it.
What's the latest on that property, that erosion and all that? Did that get all
I wanna do
fixed?
this.
Because we've not heard about that in
I
a
want
while.
to do this so bad.
It's been,
But that's that wall. That's that wall.
So,
I guess
it's a
it's
challenging area,
extended
but
over here.
the previous contractor has been removed from the job site, and a new contractor with a long-time license and experience has been put on it. They're addressing the building issues that we had with the previous contractor, and as far as the retaining wall, we have half approval of that embankment stabilization. They know that to obtain the final approval, that they'll have to address the upper area, but the work that was done previously met engineering that we had an outside third-party engineer review, and so it met those criterias. And all we need to do is just final the last piece of it, and that's the upper portion of that bank. And they know that the new contractor and new owner is aware of the requirement of addressing that concern before they can get a building final. So that's kind of where we are. And so they're redoing a lot of work that had previously been done, and that's where we are.
On this property, you showed me pictures of it. If it's out of whack, will they just have to push that back?
So it wants to do a a review of the file, because like I said, I have not personally done an inspection there. At the one time that I was going to do one, I believe they canceled it due to weather, rain. So I'm not sure if that's been poured with or without an inspection. If it turns out that it's violates the setback, if it turns out that it does, my first go-to is they need to move the foundation, scoot it back to where it does. If they can somehow prove there's hardship to BZA, then they have that option, but it's not something I recommend as a, you know, a blanket approval. I don't recommend variances.
Don, if you'll give me your phone number after the meeting, and we'll check the files, and either Matt or Preston, one can give you a call this
Okay.
week.
Okay, thank you, Roger.
Okay.
Give them a chance to go through the process.
Okay, I just wanted to bring it to your attention, so
Thanks.
thanks for,
Thank you, Don.
thanks for your time, appreciate it.
Any others? Next is communications from the mayor, and that would have to be long distance because he's not here. Committee reports, the award-winning Kelly Johnson, Clinton City Schools. I'm sure she's got some good news for us.
I do have good news to share. Our school designations were released last week, and very proud to say that Clinton Elementary School and North Clinton Elementary School are reward schools. South Clinton missed it by 0.2 of a point, and so still lots and lots to celebrate there, but missed it by 2 points, and Josh Reed probably has some good news to announce as well, because Clinton High School is also a reward school. So lots to celebrate in our city this year. Super proud of our schools. Another piece of good news is finally I can stand before you and say that our Clinton Elementary School all-inclusive playground is open for business. And so it was loads of fun watching kids out there for the first time. They are super excited. The leadership team has had to come up with a schedule to give everybody equal access to it. But if you get a chance, drive by. You can see it, but if you drive by Marshall Street in the back of the school, it is beautiful. So it was definitely a labor of love and took longer than we ever dreamed that it would take. But it is being used and enjoyed. And then finally, after we come back from Thanksgiving, of course, we did a in-service day today, so teachers focused on the new science curriculum today. Schools are closed for the remainder of this week. Then we come back and we'll spend the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas doing our mid-year testing. So we'll be doing a universal screener and a mid-year benchmark to kind of see our progress for the first semester, and then Christmas and half of the year will be over with before you know it. So good things continue to happen. Any questions for me?
Kelly, I know there's a lawsuit currently going over on vouchers. Do we know the status of that, or what's the expected success? Or?
You know, we're not hearing a whole lot with regards to other than what I read in the media about that. I do know that we've received confirmation that there is intentions to expand, that they hope to expand that with this next upcoming legislative session. So we'll just kind of watch and see where that, but really honestly, it did not impact us or Anderson County's enrollment, surprisingly. But what we're seeing is we're not seeing a mass exodus out of public schools. It is students who already attend private schools that are accessing those funds. So it really has not, up to this point, hurt the enrollment of either district.
What about the funding? Has it had any impact on funding?
As of today, no. What we've seen in other states is as the expansion happens and we fund more and more, then public ed gets less and less funding. And then you start to see smaller schools close and community schools close and those kinds of things. But I think it's too early in the game for that to happen
What is
here.
the funding currently for the city of Clinton? What's the federal funding per child?
Federal funding or state funding?
State.
The state funding, Scott Ray, I'm going to call you up. And that sounds like a great question for you to answer, so come on up, bud.
TISA funding.
Sorry, Scott.
No, you're fine. TISA funding, the base is 7,600, 7,000.
About 7,800.
And then you've got, that's kind of from the state of Tennessee, and then you got the local taxes, property tax, sales tax, which is, I always just say that's about a third to a half, it depends. So you're looking at $10,000 state and local per student. Now, certain populations get a little bit more money. In the TISA formula, it's based on each individual child, dyslexia, special education needs, so that can fluctuate a little bit. But rough estimate is, when I look at a kid, there's $10,000 above their head.
Okay, you didn't have to say that.
In my world.
Okay, you can sit down now.
Cross the line, Scott.
I will tell you something interesting that we are seeing is I've been told that there is a certain school that is, and this is what's happened in other states, but like, I'm gonna say, for instance, their annual tuition is like $5,000. And they are already in heavy discussions for next school year, raising that tuition to around $8,000 so that they capture all of the voucher money. And which sounds great if you get a voucher, but there's only 10,000 vouchers. So if you are a family that attends that private school that did not get a voucher, you're personally having to pay $3,000 more for the same amount of services. And that's exactly what has happened in other states as this has played out, is that the private schools increase the tuition over time by the exact amount of vouchers, so it really doesn't increase access for our lowest income kids.
And is the vouchers, they use the lottery money for that, is that correct? Here
That
in
is my
Tennessee?
understanding, yes.
Okay, and the lottery is down, which means they're gonna have to come up with that money somewhere else if it continues to dwindle. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and the only reason I asked that, I saw a report where the state of New York was like astronomical, 37,000 or something per child. So I was just wondering
Yeah.
where ours was.
So, and now Scott Ray really is gonna come up and talk about our finances.
Now we do have to listen to Scott.
What was the state of New York as a
37,
former
a
New
little under
Yorker?
30, little under 37.
1,000?
Uh-huh,
Per kid?
per child.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise
No,
me
yeah.
with the property tax
Right.
in New York State. I don't pay that anymore, so I'm happy. You should, no budget amendment to bring forward now, but the financial statements you have. But I'll preface that with, I was at a conference last week, and all the school systems in the state are represented, and I'll brag on the city and the departments and the school board and city council, how well we work together. I don't hear a lot of that from my colleagues. So it's one of those things, we're doing well together, so let's continue down that path. For what it's worth, even if I say embarrassing things when asked questions. The financial statements before you, general purpose school fund, overspent in the educational capital projects. That is due to the completion of the auditorium seating at Clinton Elementary. That a budget amendment was approved in October, so it's not reflected in the September financial statements as it was approved a month later. But the expenditures occurred in September when it was finished up. And we'll have the same thing occurring in a couple months for the playground. I've just paid that in November. So I'll bring a budget amendment to finalize that. The reason being, these things were supposed to be done last year, and we got towards year end, and obviously it wasn't, so they went to another budget year. Cash flow was great for us. Revenues, I budget very conservative. Expenditures are in line where we need to be, less the budget amendment that I just spoke of. And all other expenditures are fairly consistent with our budget estimates. Federal projects, no worries with the government shutdown. We didn't experience any disruption there. We are only 30 to 45 days in arrears. I try to, once we spend the money, it's a reimbursement grant. I want my money quicker rather than later. So 30 days is about as quick as we're gonna get. So we're right in that sweet spot. That just means we're doing things in a timely nature. School nutrition fund, looking to end the year slightly higher in a surplus than I predicted. But just keep in mind that we have some significant capital expenditures that will be incurring in the next 5 years. So the fund balance in general purpose school fund and the fund balance in school nutrition fund are quasi-allocated towards some federal projects in the next 1 to 5 years. We don't designate any of that officially, but I keep a little spreadsheet. So you can be assured that we have plans for these funds. Any questions?
It's a great month. Scott doesn't have any budget resolutions or whatever.
Yeah, and Mayor Burton's not here to give me a hard time.
Scott's not here, so we can.
Don't know how to act. Thank you.
Any other, okay, thank you, Scott. Clinton Regional Planning Commission, Councilman Hatmaker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. November 10, we had our Planning Commission meeting, unfinished business. Applicant Timothy Daniel is requesting a final plat approval for property located at 630 Riverbend Road. This property is zoned R1. The applicant decided not to pursue the final plat, so the plat was denied at the applicant's wishes, and that was approved. The new business, Tony Martin is requesting final plat approval for property located at 400 Beats Avenue, property zoned R2. This is a simple 2-lot subdivision, and it was approved unanimously. Second applicant is KMAC Development LLC, requesting a 1-year extension of the approved preliminary PUD site plan for property located on Broad Street. This property is zoned R3. The preliminary PUD was approved on December 9th, 24 for 52 townhomes. Applicant requested a 1-year extension, and that was approved. We also had a special called meeting on November 13th, and this was to discuss a proposed amendment of subdivision regulations, Article 3, Section A.9, to delete it in its entirety and insert a new section, A.9, and it reads as follows: private access easements, joint permanent easements, and reserve strips. No lot shall be served exclusively by private street, private access easement, or joint permanent easement. There shall be no reserved strips controlling access to streets except where the control of such strips is placed with the city under conditions approved by the Municipal Planning Commission. So what we've done here is we decided as a board to eliminate that totally, to do a refresh, to get it in the correct writing that we kind of wanted our JPEs to look and feel. I think the board unanimously wants to see JPEs, so we're going to try to revamp that and reword it. Public hearing was held. There wasn't any public comments. Mr. Crowley did not vote on the amendment because he had another commitment, but the amendment was passed unanimously at this time, and we will continue to follow up with workshops into our next monthly meeting.
Any questions for Councilman Hatmaker? What were the townhomes on? Broad Street.
Broad Street.
Any other questions? Thank you, Councilman. Clinton Utilities Board, Councilman Harrell.
Yes, Vice Mayor, the information, the summary from our meeting on 11/13 is in your packet for November. I won't read it all, but the financials are strong. CUB continues to express its appreciation to City Manager Roger Houghton working with the downtown projects. And there was some positive meeting with the contractor, and they were able to resolve some issues that CUB was very pleased with. And then the last thing at the bottom, I'll spend a little time with. The smart system that CUB has is, a couple components. One is the virtual power plant where they were able to shave off voltage to save money. The other one is Flizzr, where they're able to reroute power if there's an accident. And basically, the city of Oak Ridge accidentally knocked out a TVA transmission line that served Oak Ridge as well as CUB's Oliver Springs and Coalfield substations. Within 1 minute and 58 seconds, CUB's Flizzr system restored service to all 4,000 CUB customers that were affected without any human intervention. And all that's triggered out of the smart system grid they use. So, any questions?
if I'm not mistaken, those other systems are wanting us to show them how to do it.
That is my understanding.
It is a state of the art. It's fantastic. Any other committees? Anything Greenback to do, anything other? Councilman Howe, City Manager Howe?
Got elected.
You got the motion.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Your pay just went down.
Really just have a bunch of information for tonight. December 19th at 1 o'clock will be the next council meeting, so that's a change. That's on Friday afternoon. 11:30 that same day, we'll do the employee luncheon at the community center. The annual Christmas parade will be held on Saturday, December the 6th at 6 p.m. The tree lighting will be December the 5th at 5:30 at the community center. Talk a little bit about the Christmas parade in Market Street. One, the route we're going to use for the parade is a little bit different this year. We're still going to line it up on Eagle Bend. It'll go down Market, left on Main. Instead of going to Broad, we'll take it all the way to South Hicks and then turn down and disperse part of the floats in front of the center, walking groups behind. We're actually making a map that we'll be sending out, posting tomorrow. We'll be sending out to all the entries and probably handing out to get the information out. The only thing different on this, Market Street, which is closed right now, will remain closed, but we will barricade it off from any pedestrians actually standing on it during the parade. So roughly 5:15-ish on that Saturday, we'll clear the street for the parade route. Like I said, we'll be putting several maps out on all this. Talking about Market Street, and appreciate Roberta coming. We've met, I think, 3 times, Bill and I, the last 2 weeks with the superintendent on the job. I actually met today with the vice president of the company, Jason Rogers, just to kind of stress on them how important that the next 3 or 4 weeks are for our merchants. They've agreed they can't work Wednesday because it's a TDOT project and they have to shut down. So before they leave tomorrow, they're supposed to really highlight on Market Street, cleaning a bunch of it up. I've talked with Public Works and Recreation. We'll be there to either supervise or assist with this to get it in the best shape we can for the next couple of weeks. We'll probably have to come back through and do some more next week before the parade, but we'll try to help out, straighten it up the best we can. We did this for the Antique Fest in October and was pretty successful in getting it straightened up. We don't have any street lights on Market Street, so we've rented some temporary lighting towers to go up during the parade, since it's a nighttime parade, just to help out. Questions on any of that?
Yeah, Roger, with the street, being shared today with Hoskins and Flats, their concerns, if we're made aware of like the pathways, who's on liability, the contractor or the city, once we get told that these are unsafe conditions?
Yes, probably both. I mean, it's really the contractor at this point, and we've had a few claims that we've turned into them. I mean, if it's something, and we try to stay in touch with them almost daily on some of the issues. I usually go through there 2 or 3 times a day, and I know Bill does too, looking at stuff. But, after this hard rain we had, I guess it was Friday, I know this day we had a lot of gullies washed out, and they're supposed to be addressing them also.
Okay.
I know at one time they were cleaning up their space when they left so that it looked nicer when people came down there. Is there a way we could ask them or tell them that they need to be throwing their trash away? Because at first I thought it was just pallets, and then I started looking, I was like, this is just trash.
Well, as I said, I've had that conversation with the superintendent more than once, but actually today I talked to actually called the owner of the company, and he had his vice president call me back and had a good conversation with him about that. And he was actually in town today, so he walked down there and looked at the job site.
Okay.
So hopefully.
What was his take?
Pardon?
What was his observation?
Well, he agreed that some of as Wendy said, some of the trash that's got left, it could definitely be policed up a little better than what they've been doing.
Thank you.
Good. Let's see. Weaver Street, last Thursday at the traffic signal at Weaver, we installed a protective left turn. That had been requested back a couple months ago. So if you're coming from the interstate into town, you want to turn left to go over to Eagle Bend Market Street, there's a protective left turn there. Going the other direction, coming from downtown, if you want to turn left and go over to Main Street, there's a protective left turn. So you got an arrow there now, kind of like we did at Sunset when we had the bridge construction. And that should help quite a bit. Only other thing I've got is next month, and the mayor was going to do this, next month and in January, the mayor has several appointments of boards. So we have, and it's been listed on our website, you can go to our homepage and see city boards, which what we've went to now, we've added an application. So if somebody is interested in serving on a city board, they can print off that application and either mail it or email it to the mayor. And that way he'll know who's interested and what board you're wanting to be on. Defer to Gail, Finance.
I'm going to defer to Paula.
There you go.
Thank you. Let's keep deferring. Okay, just a couple things to mention on the financial report. Our tax aggregate is coming in higher than we budgeted for revenue as far as fiscal year '26. The local option sales tax is averaging 4.5% higher than the previous year. In year-to-date overall, we're 17.8% higher. Overall, the county itself was up 8.19% this month and an overall of 14.96%. So that's looking good. As far as the revenues are concerned, they're in line with where we should be at this time of year. You will see the intergovernmental revenues are a little higher, but that's due to all the grant funding we've received with all the projects that we have going on. And then last but not least, our industrial and community development percentage is high, but that's just due to the timing this time of year with when our payments are due on those things. But everything else is looking good.
Thank you, Paula. And I don't know if I introduced Paula. She was at the last meeting. Paula is right now the Assistant Finance Director because Ms. Cook is staying on as interim to the 1st of January. At that point, Gail will go back into semi-retirement, and Paula will be our new Finance Director starting in January.
Only got about 5 more weeks.
She's not.
Do we need her again at some point?
Well, you heard I said semi-retirement. I didn't say retirement. Question, that's all I've got.
I did have a question on the red light at Mariner Point. Do we have an update with that?
They were supposed to have last Monday, one of TDOT's new requirements is we have to re-asphalt that intersection. That was on the schedule to do last Friday. Of course, it got rained out. I did not make it down there today. I don't know if it got done today, but I think they're waiting on the last components. They were doing that today, so they did asphalt today. I think in January.
Hopefully December in the cabinet, maybe as late as March. We're not sure. It could be a little earlier.
So we've asked them to look at possibly a temporary cabinet if they come up with something.
Where do those cabinets come from? That takes them so long.
You know, it took a year and a half on the one at the interstate. I think a lot of this stuff, they don't manufacture till you actually order it.
Okay. Any other questions for City Manager?
I do have one more.
All right.
And it's still about Mariner Point, but I've seen, the sign got hit, I guess, last week. But there was a lot of talk about the shrubbery there and that it was really hard to see when you pull out. Who's responsible for that shrubbery?
The actual homeowner association got permission when that was built to put all that in. I know they're working with the lady that hit it. They've been in touch with her insurance to get the sign replacement. I think there's a group of guys down there working on that. They usually maintain all of that.
Okay.
I don't think we do any of it, do we, Dwayne?
Yeah, okay. I was just wondering, a lot of people were saying it's really hard to see around it, so I was curious.
So for the record, that island is
It's-
owned or right away,
It's city right away.
but the upkeep, the sign, the shrubs is on the homeowners association.
Yes.
You should maybe attend the next meeting.
Well, that's a whole nother story.
My understanding is the electricity is connected with the adjacent service station.
Yes.
That's what I've been told.
Yes, they agreed to put that in when they built that service station.
That's what I was thinking. So we're totally out of the loop.
Kind of.
Any other questions? Thank you, City Manager. I don't see any first or second readings on ordinances and resolutions. Any old business? Any new business? I didn't meet Rob's record, but do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.